And a happy Friday to you folks. It's Danny Boy.
And Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy.
Welcome in 425 SIP SIN's YouTube page. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for always joining us. Sorry about that.
We
Bill,
made it through another one.
we made it through another one. Yeah, a busy news cycle in terms of the uh, political and other local news landscape for me. Billy Boy also tackling some stuff on his own workplace. So um, let's get it done.
Keeps us out of trouble.
Exactly. Um,
Don't worry, folks. This is regular OJ. I didn't put any vodka in it.
oh yeah,
It's
no, we don't want that.
it's 11 o'clock. It's only not even 11 o'clock, and I have a meeting at 1, so I gotta be
Yeah, we certainly don't want
clear-minded.
that.
What was
All
that?
right. Um, So obviously, as you folks know, the NBA season's come to an end. NFL's on a summer break. Um, and um, I'll say this real quick because the NBA draft did come and go. Congratulations to Cooper Flag. He was the number one pick going to Dallas. Um, I'm no longer as interested. Me and Bill were talking about it off air. I'm just no longer as interested in the NBA draft than I am in other drafts.
Like the NFL draft, where we here, if you guys have been following us here for a while, we make like a giant spectacle out
Mhm.
of it.
Massive. Yes.
Like we do our draft show,
Yeah.
we do a live stream. So when it's the NFL draft, we're like all of us, me, Danny Boy Reg, Mike Rifkin, Old Ops Guy, if he's available, the Patch Man, if he's a you remember the Patch Man, Reg? I don't think he's around that much anymore.
Yeah. By the way, doors open whenever you want to come in. Uh,
Our door
Patchman,
is always open.
Lawrence.
Lawrence, come on, we're
Come
waiting
on,
for you.
broski. Or some people call him Larry. Remember that one time there was a podcast they called him Larry? I was like, Larry. Oh, that's just so weird. Patchman, come back. Let's go.
Come on, we want come out of your little man cave.
Yeah,
We know, bro, the Packers suck. You don't have to know.
yeah. In any case, but yeah, look, I love basketball. Love it. One of my favorite. It's my second favorite sport behind baseball. But you know, I don't know. Like to me, they don't market these new incoming players. The players do better once they go pro and once they build a brand in the NBA than they do when they're in college. Not saying that they don't do well in college. No, they're very famous in college, but they don't market themselves well. And the rise of the women's basketball game has really made them take a bit of a backseat. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, I'm not as impressed with the NBA draft. I'm not as impressed with the marketing. I'm not as impressed with the coverage, and it's boring.
Yeah, kind of is.
So,
Well, I think why the NFL draft is bigger, tell if I sound crazy, please tell me, because college football is shorter than college basketball season wise. So I think people could have like the more time to grasp who's playing, while college basketball, it's just way too much for people to get really intrigued, if that makes sense.
yeah, well, football is everyone's universal language, right? Because it's the number one sport in the country. So basketball is not. And that's just the reality of the situation. Um,
We always say football is king.
yeah. Well, even in the NBA regular season. It's become like baseball. Uh, it's a regional target. It's not like a national, or at least the NBA is going to try to make it national, of course, but it's a regional thing. So yeah, um, that's where we're at. Not covering the NBA draft this year, and honestly, I don't care. Um,
Yeah, we really
we'll
don't.
we'll follow the players. Don't get me wrong. We'll follow the players. We once they really sell themselves, we're gonna be very, very into it. But uh, I just don't feel the need to cover it. So that's why we're not covering it. We are covering, however, some big, big breaking news legally for some of these um professional athletes here. We'll start off with the Ravens, former Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker. He was released by the team a while back, probably around May. Um, Justin Tucker was handed a 10-week ban from the NFL for violating the personal conduct policy.
Well, he was already cut by the Ravens a while
Right.
back, though.
Yeah, yeah. He was cut in like May or whatever. Um, but um, he was handed a 10-week ban. Now, here's the thing about the 10-week ban. He could serve it as a free agent. So he could take 10 weeks of the season, not sign with any team. And then after his 10 weeks, he can then be free to sign with the team. Well, he's already free to sign with the team anyway. But um he could take it as a free agent. He doesn't necessarily have to be with the team to serve the ban. So, um, that's that. Look, when you get accused by dozens of women about sexual assault in massage parlors and all that stuff, like, yeah, like I don't know like where it's gonna go. I'm sure like he's gonna do his whatever stupid ass lawsuit, try to clear his name, whatever, just like everyone else does, right?
And I've been saying this for a while, Reg. This is why certain NFL personnel should stay away from massage parlors.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, Robert Kraft, Deshaun Watson, and
Yeah.
now Justin Tucker. Like, this is why y'all need to stay away from. This is why y'all need to stay away from massage parlors.
Yeah.
Because, Reg, there will not be a happy ending at these things.
Yeah, no.
There really won't be.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, like, bro, like, yeah, no, you deserve it. If in fact that's what you did. Um, and you know, y- you need to own up to your actions. Bottom line.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So, yeah, Tucker's getting 10 weeks.
Yeah. And he's not fighting the matter. Usually some people would appeal and everything. He doesn't seem like, based on what I've read, he's not going to fight the matter. So he is going to serve 10 weeks, probably as a free agent, because who the hell would want to touch him? First of all, he sucks, you know. But anyways, um,
So, yeah, Tucker is out, and he's not the only athlete who's facing legal consequences.
mhm.
Tampa Bay Rays, Wander Franco
Yeah, how about
received a
this?
2-year prison sentence for sexual assault.
Yeah, he had a sexual relationship, for those of you that don't know, with a 14-year-old girl when he
Oh,
was 21 years old. Um, Now, prosecutors wanted 5 years. They gave him two. Um, and then, of course, not only that, but the mother of the 14-year-old was also convicted of sexually trafficking her. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Uh,
this is the mother?
Yeah, the mother was sentenced to
Ugh.
10 years of prison. Because prosecutors were able to prove that she sought financial gains from Franco. So this is just a wild situation going on here. This, of course, for those of you that don't know what's going on, that's pretty much the bulk of it. I mean, the more things came out about this Wander Franco situation, the more it got pretty
Crazy.
ugly.
And
Like it
that's
was ugly to have to listen. First of all, if you're 21 or any grown ass adult out there, I'm sorry. Like, what are you doing with minors? Like,
what are you doing with a freaking 14-year-old girl? That's
like,
my
come on
question.
now. Yeah, come on
Uh,
now.
like, seriously, bro.
Yeah,
I am sorry. If you're doing that with minors, you should get your cut off.
yeah.
Sorry.
And let's be real about this. It doesn't matter how consensual, whatever it is. No, they are
Absolutely.
kids.
If,
Kids.
listen, I don't care if listen, if she is underage, I don't care if she consents or not. If she's underage, she's underage.
Yeah.
And dude, again, let me reiterate, what the hell is a 21-year-old doing with a freaking 14-year-old?
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. They're not they are little kids. Let's be real about that. They're little kids, you know?
This guy deserve, you know what? He's getting a prison sentence. Good. But you know what else? He deserves a cannonball to be fired at his nuts, to be honest. He really does. And I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but he deserves to get a cannonball fired at his nuts. Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, that is just terrible.
Like, bro, you're 21.
Yeah.
You're old enough to drink, and yet you're doing this with a young girl. Like, Reg, I swear to God, there is a place in hell reserved for people like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that the mother went along with this. Oh my God, there's a special place in hell reserved for her, Reggie. Like, am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah. You're dead on, dude. Dead on. A shame for Wander Franco. Remember, Wander Franco's one of those Tampa Bay idiots that gave us nightmares for every time he, wanted to be one of the killers across all the American League, right? And now we no longer have to worry about him because he's going to go to jail and he's going to be in prison for a long time, So
Well, two
we'll
years
not
is
worry.
not a long time, but you know his career is
Eh, it's
absolutely over.
it's long enough for people to stay away from that, like.
No, yeah, no, his career's over.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, why would
Like
you put him in a clubhouse?
when he gets out when he gets out in 2 years,
Yeah,
bro. When he gets out in 2 years, n no football, no baseball team is gonna touch them with a 24 with a 29 and a half foot pole.
yeah, and it's a shame because he was truly a star. Like Tampa Bay, they extended his contract. They gave him a massive deal, you know, to be their long-term shortstop.
Well, absolutely. So he's done.
Yeah.
And he's where he belongs. He's where he freaking belongs.
Yeah. Um, as long as Franco's on the restricted list, the Rays will not be required to pay the salaries from his 11-year, $182 million contract. So the Rays are actually saving money. Um, and the MLB's investigation remains open. He could be further disciplined under the league's domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy. So obviously, while we know he's going to be sentenced to prison, we know we still don't know how Major League Baseball is going to actually handle it on their end. We don't know what the punishment is going to be. Right now, he's just been on the restricted list. So, so yeah, the league did say in a statement, MLB is proud to have a collectively bargained joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy that reflects our commitment to those values. We are aware of today's verdict in the Wander Franco trial and will conclude our investigation at the appropriate time. Um, Wild story. Just a wild, wild, wild story.
Yeah, just yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes, yikes, yikes.
Yeah. Well, obviously, once we know what baseball wants to do on their end with the Franco situation, we'll obviously keep you posted on that.
I'll tell you what we do. I'll tell you what they should do. Rip up that contract, light it on fire, and then
Yeah.
piss on it to put it out.
Yeah. It don't exist no more, right?
Yeah, just light that contract up on fire and rip it up, light it on fire, then piss on it when you're done.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sorry if I'm sounding crass here, but no, I'm sorry. Like,
Hmm.
I have no sympathy for this man.
And how could you? Let's be real. Like how could you? Because the bottom line is this. You know, it's a disgusting act what you're doing to kids. You know, when you're a full-fledged adult, and he is a full-fledged adult at 21. I know they say your brain's not really developed till you're like 30, but he's an adult. He's old enough to know what the fuck he's doing,
But in
right?
the eyes of the law, he's an adult.
Yeah. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You're again, like I said, you're you are doing the you know whatsy with a child, a child that's, let's be real, not even old enough to know what making a decision looks like or feels like, you know?
This this girl isn't even old enough to drive,
Certainly not in America if she lives there, Shit.
let alone consent to sexual activity.
It's disgusting. It's gross.
Like, unless consent to sexual activity.
Yeah.
Like, I, I got nothing. I literally
Awful.
got nothing.
Awful. Awful.
Well, I've said some things, but still, you're angry. That's reasonable.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have to see him again. He doesn't have to kill anyone in the American League again, including our Yankees. Oh, by the way, the Yankees had a terrible series in Cincinnati. Um,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
losing two out of three is just awful. The Reds are not that good, but whatever. We'll leave it at that.
And we got the A's coming in this weekend.
Yeah. Well, we
I'm
better.
going tomorrow, so
Oh, okay. So enjoy that.
going with Papa Murph.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so weird because I've been keeping an eye on the weather. They were saying, "Oh, there's going to be thunderstorms." Now it's like, okay, there'll be some showers, but it should be cleared up by game time.
Yeah.
Maybe a possible stray shower or thunderstorm, but nothing too.
How true is this? I was talking to Daddy yesterday. I call my father,
Papa
and
Reg.
he was like, it was 70 degrees. Is that true? Was it 70 degrees outside?
Yesterday, yes.
Well, that feels a lot better than the 98-degree bull crap we've been having here in
The
DC.
weather has been so weird up here.
You know?
The weather has been so weird up here. But no, like, no, if for those of you, like, earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like, it was 9,900 degrees.
Right.
And I remembered to work, I had to do something for work, and I asked my boss, like, "Hey, would you be okay if I wore shorts?" And he's like, "Fine with me. Just be comfortable."
Yeah. Gotta be, man.
Because Yeah, and or at my other job, when Wednesday it was 90 something degrees, walking from the car to where I had to go, which was like what, 10 feet maybe, in jeans because they want us to wear, because we got to look professional. I was sweating
It was bad.
bullets.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, don't wear jeans when it's 90 something degrees.
No. Wear jean shorts. That's a little more comfy, but wear something looser.
Yeah,
Jean,
but no, it's just so weird how we went to like nearly record high temps of like 70 degrees.
yeah, that must have felt really nice.
Yeah, like no, like that is like my perfect ideal weather.
Yeah,
70 degrees. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's right there. It's
yeah,
right there. It's that sweet spot, Reggie, you know?
yeah. See, and this is why I like October. October
Oh,
weather is literally that. It's in the 70s. It's dry. It feels nice. Like that's like beautiful, beautiful type weather. By the way, speaking of that, did you know I read this? I don't know how true this is. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a climatologist, all that stuff. They're saying that New York has become a subtropical climate.
I don't know.
That's I mean, if true, and of course I would believe it because nowadays our winters are more mild than it is like really cold and snowy, like when we were growing up and stuff. Um, if that is the case, that's just some wild shit, bro. You know, it's just some wild shit. Uh,
No,
so you
that
mean tell
is
me we have a similar climate to like a Hawaii or Puerto Rico or you know,
no app. Yeah, that
yeah,
is crazy.
that's insane. Uh,
Well, going back to sports, this angered me.
mhm.
Cattell Marte
Yeah.
was for the Diamondbacks was being heckled by a White Sox fan
Mhm.
about his deceased mother.
Yeah, this is such a horrible situation. So, um, I think it was when he was at bat. Again, I didn't watch the game or anything. Um, but yeah, yes, it was in the middle of his at bat when a fan yelled something derogatory about his mom. I watched the video of the man getting arrested, Bill. It seemed like he was saying something about his mom being a bop or whatever. Like I don't know what he was trying to say. Some are there's some conflicting things saying that the fans was like your mom deserved what she got. Um, but I don't know. Whatever the case is, this fan heckled about his mom and Cattell Marte, odd for obvious reasons because he lost his mother 8 years ago in an accident, and started crying because that's his mom. His mom probably was a very important figure in his life, and um, started crying on the field, and it spilled into when the Diamondbacks went into defense. During a pitching change, he was being consoled by his coaches, his players, his managers because um, he was visibly upset that someone were to say anything about his mom, his deceased mom, and stuff.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and uh,
That is
of course.
absolutely disgusting.
Of course, the Diamondbacks were pretty pissed off, all of them in the dugout, asked the fan to be uh, taken out of the stadium, which he was. And then, of course, Major League Baseball, as this came around to everyone, Major League Baseball um, got involved. The White Sox ended up banning him from indefinitely, excuse me, from all Major League Baseball stadiums. Um, and I applaud the move. I applaud the move, Bill.
I do as well. Like, come on. Like, we used to make yo mama jokes when you were a kid, but you're this guy's mother is dead.
Yeah,
She is
that's another thing.
deceased.
Look, whether the mom is a bop, by the way, bop is one of those terms for like she's like pretty cute, hoary type of thing. It's like a Gen Z term, I think. But like,
And the guy's 22. You know what? Gen Z is destroying this world right now. They
yeah,
really are.
whether it was a whether it was a a comment talking about how good she looks or a comment about whether she deserved what she got or whatever it was. This fan definitely knew just because he used the word was in that video that I saw.
He knew his mother was gone.
He knew his mom was dead. So knowing that, it's just not okay to make any type of remarks on
Like,
anyone's late mother like
if
that.
the situation, if he said, hey, your mom is a bop, like, if they asked, well, did you know his mother was deceased? If he didn't know, then I would willing to give him
Yeah,
some
sure.
grace.
Yeah,
I would say, okay, like if that was the situation, he didn't know his mom was dead, then I would say, okay, I'm willing. If he didn't know, you can't punish someone for not knowing. But at the same, but no, when he says was, he knows his mother's gone. He
yeah.
knows Cattell Marte's mother is deceased. Like he knows that.
Yeah, and again, we need to spread positivity in this world, Bill. Like we can't be talking about someone making comments about someone's dead mom or dead parent, period. Like it's emotional, and we also have to realize that yes, you're making comments, yes, you're being a fan, which is great. You can be a great baseball fan, you can taunt whatever, but when you cross that line and you start to you know, hurt people's feelings. And, look, this is not about being soft. Like, this is someone that was really important to Ketel Marte. And Ketel Marte has every right to be upset about that. So when you start to cross that line, that's where we really have to start tackling down a little bit, toning it down a bit. We can be great fans. We can taunt. We can talk trash, but we cannot go that far.
And there's some lines you just don't cross. There's just some lines you just don't cross, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
There's just some lines you don't cross, and that's one of them. And no, that guy just he got what he deserved.
Yeah.
He got what he freaking deserved.
Yeah. I also wouldn't be shocked if that dude was drunk too.
Probably was.
You know, obviously I'm not saying
I didn't even know what bop was till about a minute or so ago.
it's again it's like I think it's like a Gen Z term,
You know what it is, Reg?
yeah.
It's like, remember when we were younger and we'd be using certain lingo and our
Yeah.
parents and grandparents would be like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
And, or probably when our parents were young and they were using certain lingo that our grandparents didn't know, they'd be like,
All right,
what?
all right.
And when our grandparents were young and our great grandparents were like, what? Dude, we're now officially the people saying, what?
Right.
We're now officially those people.
Yeah, well, we grew up with because we're millennials. So we're like the tail end, like the last what,
I
two,
was born in
3 years?
94, you were born in 95. So
95. Millennials ended 96, right? So
I believe so, yes.
yeah, so yeah, man, like we were obviously, getting older and we're not quite understanding anything, and that's cool. Like, I don't care. But like, it's still.
No,
Wait.
when I hear like God, we are now sounding, dude, like the old men on the front on the porch screaming, "Get off my lawn!" Like, like no, when I hear some Gen Z use this language, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
God.
My personal favorite, and by personal favorite I mean I hate the use of this word, Rizzler. I'm like, what? God, we've officially become the old men on the front porch screaming, "Get off our lawn!" Okay, we've tackled some heavy topics today. I think we need to lighten things up a little bit. I think we need to lighten things up a little bit,
Yeah,
don't you
let's
think?
go for it, man. Totally.
Um, All-Star games, first votes are in, and guess who the first two to get in? J Shohei Ohtani and our boy Aaron Judge.
No shocker. No
Congrats to
shocker.
both of you.
Um, Judge's having an unbelievable season. Um, hasn't really been really himself of late, but it's whatever.
It
He's
happens.
still hitting home runs and everything. And then Shohei is just incredible.
Is Shohei even human?
Yeah. Sometimes we wonder that. Look, we've seen Shohei for what, like 8 years now in the league or something like that,
Yeah.
and he's gotten better literally every single season he's been in the majors. And he was already a great figure in Japan. So the fact that he has leveled up his game from when he was in Japan to when he came to the majors with the Angels, and to see this guy continue to rake as well as he did, it's incredible stuff. Like I give him all the credit in the world. And the fact that that him and Judge came up at the around the same time was also pretty cool to watch. So yeah,
Yeah, so I totally agree. This is awesome. We got
yeah,
probably two of the best players in baseball.
yeah.
And yeah, so Judge and Shohei in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
And I think more All-Star votes um are coming in soon. Probably more this weekend, definitely more Monday. So we'll definitely get more results soon. And then of course, just looking at the weekend ahead, we talked about the Yankees and the A's. Um, A's coming to New York. Um,
Yeah, that's gonna be this weekend. Like I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
yeah, off a win on Wednesday. Um, I'm expecting the Yankees to get back on track, and they have been much better. Like they were on a terrible stretch, to in the middle of this month and right now this is time for the Yankees to get their acts back together, and they have sort of done that, sort of not. So let's hope they can pick it back up soon. Will Warren's on the mound tonight for the Yankees.
Hopefully he does good.
Yeah. Um,
So yeah, and also some news that we heard this week. Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee,
right.
and he said most likely this season will be my last season.
He needs to retire.
How many times have we heard this, Reg?
He's done.
How many I want him to retire. You want him to retire. Rodgers,
He's done.
I speak for everyone right now. We are sick and tired of you right now. We really are. We're tired of the antics. We're tired of the BS. We're tired that about the whole COVID thing. You were gonna be the host of Jeopardy. You were gonna be RFK Jr.'s running mate.
Yeah.
And like I've been saying this, if he's gonna retire, thank God. Because you know what, Reg? I've been saying this for years, but you people don't listen to me. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to play football anymore.
I think. I'm truly starting to think he has some type of personality disorder.
Listen, and I just want to say for the record, neither of us are
Yeah, no.
psychologists. We're not psychiatrists. We're not mental health experts. But
Yeah. And we're also not trying to make fun of people who actually have any type of personality disorder, like because
if
those
you
are
do have those, if people do have those disorders, we hope you're getting the proper treatment.
yeah. But
But
like this man, he continues the amount of one sidestepping, two, the amount of flip-flopping that he does. It's incredible. It's incredible.
every time he does something stupid, I think he's like, oh no, the spotlight's not on me. I gotta do something totally ridiculous so people will pay attention to me again. He's basically the freaking Paris Hilton of football. He's like the Paris Hilton of football, and I know that is a very untime. I know that is a very dated reference,
Yeah.
but no, he is like the Paris Hilton of football. He's a total attention seeker, and
Yeah.
also he apparently got married recently. Congrats to the happy couple,
Yeah.
but we haven't seen any photos of. Is his wife real? Is Aaron Rodgers' wife real?
Yeah. At some point, like, I'm glad that look, obviously don't get me wrong, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. We all know that. He's one of the greats. But at some point, dude, just go off to the sunset, enjoy your life, and stay away from football. Stay
You
away.
know what I think his wife is like? Have you ever seen that Family Guy episode in which Lois discovers she has a brother?
Yes.
This is one of the
I
earlier
had to think
seasons,
about
back
this
when Family Guy
one.
was good.
Yeah.
Now it's just crap.
Yeah, I saw the episode they aired last night. It's so bad. Lois becomes a comedian under the name Lois CK. Like brutal, brutal shit, bro.
Like, here's my thing about Family Guy. Like, I used to like religiously watch it, but now I just don't. Um,
Yeah,
Like, maybe like at night if it's on, I'll watch it, but not because it's just that, at the end of the day when you want to wind down and go to bed, you just want to watch something like mind-numbing.
yeah.
You just want to
It's
watch something terribly mind-numbing.
yeah,
So because this is about the time you're ready to settle down and ready to go to sleep. And you know, I and you need to watch and I watch Family Guy then because I need to watch something totally mind-numbing.
right.
But it's that episode which when Lois is discovers she has a brother and he's in a mental institution. Again, I want to reiterate, we are not poking fun at people who have mental health issues, but and remember goes, and then I met my fiance or my wife, and she's like just and he's like and there's like nothing there,
Yeah.
and there's like literally no one there. And I'm like thinking, is that Aaron Rodgers? Is that like, here's my wife? No, I'm not doing the Borat joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, this is my wife. Aaron, there's like literally no one there.
In any case,
But no, I don't know if. Do you think Aaron Rodgers' wife is real?
I think so.
I don't know. Because you know what? If it was anyone else, I'd be willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. But Aaron Rodgers, he's got a track record of doing the most not normal things.
Yeah. Um, Final season of Aaron Rodgers. Thank goodness.
As he
His
says right
antics can stop.
now. As he says right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe him.
I don't talk to me in January.
Yeah.
When he comes at the end
Maybe
of the
maybe
season
if he
and
has like an explosive season, which he won't. Maybe when he has an explosive season, I'll get back to you. You know.
no, at the I will believe it when in January he comes to the podium and said, this was my final season. I have played for years. Thank you very much. I'm off
Cool. Um,
with my wife, who may or may not exist.
um, we'll obviously get to more football. I really stayed quiet about my football team. Um, I'm gonna give an official opinion of where I stand with the Jets when we get to training camp. And I promise you on that. I had a long time to think about it. I don't know if you're probably gonna do the same thing, but much sooner with the Giants.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I've been wondering, how are things going to be with the quarterback situation? Are we going to give Jackson Dart a shot, or is he going
yeah,
to be carrying the clipboard?
yeah.
But you know what? With the Jets, I think you guys are going to be start. I think you guys are going to have a fresh start. Um, Salah's gone, Douglas is gone. You got a new head coach. And of course, Aaron Rodgers is out of there. You don't have to deal with the drama anymore.
But we still have to face him week one. So, you
And you
know.
don't have to have any space in a luxury box for his maybe she isn't existing wife. But no, like no, we'll see what happens. And don't forget, guys, in a couple weeks, I will be doing my traditional preseason ranking of the new NFL hires that's coming, folks. I promise. No, y'all always look forward to that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that is it for today. If you like what you see, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can hit that button for notifications, and then of course follow our podcast and all of the Sports Cincinnati Network shows wherever you get your podcast. We also have YouTube exclusives. That's why you should subscribe to the channel. Um, and then, of course, follow our socials. We appreciate you. We love you. And we always thank you for joining us.
So, from both of us here, stay safe and take care.
Have a great weekend.
We'll see you Monday.